I think that you and I did a great job, and I'm really impressed specifically with you, with your coaching and how you coach and how you be with people. And I imagine you're really natural at being yourself and not being lost in your mind too much about what you should be doing in the moment and stuff like that. I imagine that you're really grounded. So I like working with you and coaching with you.
Awesome.
And I am pretty happy with the new content that we have created for the last run of the course. I think that the content itself that we put together is really strong.
Heck yeah. I mean, the new videos that you made, and I think the gaps that you filled are huge. Like now I imagine it's like a really complete course that does actually help people, that does support people in getting the practice of radical honesty and like, yeah, like begin to use this process to actually deal with their shit and their conflicts with people and their issues with people to get over some of it, to be happier in their lives.
Hi everybody, we're Mac and Lindsay. We'll be leading the next round of Get Over Shit and Be Happy, a 6-week online course in radical honesty that starts March 6th. And then a week after that, we'll start our weekly live calls, which are 3 hours per week. You get to hang out with us and the rest of your course mates and dig into the material, recover, review everything that we went over during the week, and start putting that stuff into practice.
Yeah, so it's 6 weeks. It's a 6-week long course. It's 6 modules. So each week a new module is released. And then like Mac is saying, the week after a module is released, then we have a live call with each other to go over the content that was released in the module the week before. We'll be editing some of this video. What else do we want to say about it?
What do you think is like the main benefit that people will get from doing this course?
I really do think that all of the new stuff that you added, that is, yeah, like I think everything that you added makes it so that the course really is getting like the fundamentals, the foundation of radical honesty. Those first couple of modules, the first half of the course is about like building this self-awareness practice so that when they get to the point that has to do with dealing with conflict with other people or getting over issues with other people, they've got kind of this solid foundation to start from, so that then it's a little easier or a little more accessible to be able to just be with people in conflict and talk with them about stuff, report where they are in the moment to get over some things. Yeah, and then be happier in relationship to those people, which I think is obviously totally an ongoing thing. It's not a like one and done sort of process, but
yeah. Well, I do think that maybe the strongest point of radical honesty is our ability to stick with and feel our way through anger in a way that most modalities shy away from or just don't know what to do with.
Right.
And I think, as the title of the course suggests, Get Over Shit and Be Happy is essentially about that. We have a tendency to get ourselves frustrated and get ourselves stuck in resentments. And we don't know how to get out of that or to get over that and get to the other side of that, which is where happiness and love are available to us.
Right. So often instead we disconnect ourselves from people and distance ourselves from people.
Right.
Instead of doing whatever it might take to get over the shit and reconnect with them. Instead, we just withdraw in some way most of the time.
As Brad says, in order to keep the peace, we keep the distance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a big part of what we're offering in the course and in radical honesty in general is this ability to stick with each other, be with whatever arises, including anger and resentment, which a lot of other modalities don't offer or don't do. Yeah, so we're not trying to bypass anger. We practice being with it, being with our bodies, like being with our sensations as they come up, being with whatever thoughts as they come up when we're mad at someone.
Yeah.
To go through it, get over it, and genuinely get to forgiveness.
Yep. And I think because we've spent a lifetime avoiding anger and creating fear around anger, that we've convinced ourselves that there's no way out, that there's no way to deal with it effectively, and therefore we should just only be around people who aren't angry people. We ourselves should just learn how to not be angry, rather than learning how to deal with anger, or even how to use anger in a productive way, and maybe let go of this idea that anger is something that anger is a negative emotion, whereas like happiness and joy are positive emotions. We should try to create and build and maintain more of this, and avoid at all costs all of the things that we don't like, and just recognize that they all just kind of exist together. That this value system that we apply is totally an invention of our own mind, supported by whatever our societal context dictates to us. And if we can just let that go, and recognize that our whole like emotional range is a valuable, how all of that to sort of emerge as it does, without our minds getting in the way of that emergence, then we'll all just be a lot happier.
If we just do all that, we'll be happier. Yeah, I'm thinking too, something that came up for me when you were saying all of that was, I don't even know how I want to say it in the moment, but I'm just thinking about how so often when conflict arises or when we're mad at someone, we try to do some of the things that you mentioned, like try to just get over it without dealing with it, try to be peaceful instead of be mad, do whatever we've got to do in our minds to try to not be mad, or whatever it might be. Like also often when we're mad, we are just blaming it on the other person and expecting the other person to change. So in some cases, it's like we're not thinking about what can I do to change this, or how can I like force myself to not be mad and to be peaceful instead, or to be forgiving instead, or whatever. But we're thinking like the other person just needs to change,
Mm-hmm.
like, which also is not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We get at all of that in the course too, doing like the module on shoulds and talking about expectations and judgments and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know it's billed as a foundational course, right? We're just teaching the basics, but I think that we really do enter into much more depth and detail about a lot of these foundational elements of radical honesty than you'll get certainly in a weekend workshop. I'm actually really liking the design and the pace of the course now, especially the way that we've laid it out this last time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you really do give yourself to the course the way that some of our participants have in the past, and like really take the week breaks to really play with the concepts that we're working on that week with the people in their lives, the participants who actually do that do seem to get so much benefit.
Totally. Like, I can't even imagine how people could not get something out of it if they're doing the practice, if they're doing the exercises with the people in their lives and really taking it on. I kind of can't even imagine how people could not get something like pretty profound out of doing it.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the other like major benefits of doing the course in the 6-week format, although in a weekend workshop, which is more intensive, right? You're actually in a room with real people and not just doing it virtually. You have a more heightened experience typically in that situation. However, the benefit of doing it this way is that you do get the time to apply all of these things in your like default life, and then come back to the same group several times. Like for 6 weeks, you have this like coming together, take it out into your life, coming together, workshopping the stuff, taking it out into your life. And so you have this, this touch and go kind of thing.
Totally. Yeah, I think that's huge. And I think for a lot of people, this format works better. I do imagine that being really supportive in a way that the in-person weekend workshops aren't. It's just different. And yeah, I think that's pretty huge.
The thing about like marketing and sales is like you're selling yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not a product. It's like, do people like Mac and Lindsay? You
Yeah.
know, then they're gonna be
Oh God.
buy this product.
Oh God. Yeah.
To some degree, obviously,
Yeah.
they're interested in radical honesty. You know, but
yeah, I think that's legit. And you know, I say, oh God, kind of jokingly, because that's where my mind goes at first, like, oh man, we're what we're selling. Like we are the thing that we're selling. But then I do think of the course and I do feel really proud of us. I feel like really happy with all of the stuff that you did for the last round. I feel really happy with all of the new videos you added. I feel really happy with how you recap, you know, how we know that you'll go forward recapping each week when we get on the calls so that it all is really tied together really well.
yeah.
I feel really confident about my coaching on the live calls. I love doing it. That's like my favorite part is supporting people and getting the stuff, getting what they're practicing with the people in their lives. And I feel really confident about that. And like I do a good job and like we do a really good job doing this together and providing something that's good shit. And I think that the calls that we did were really great and that people were really engaged and liked them and got a lot out of them. And so, yeah, when I think of us, like we're selling us, I think like, you know, after my first moment of like, oh man, we're selling ourselves, then I think like, that's pretty good. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.